Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Monday, November 20. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his government is moving apace to have the public sector wage negotiation completed before the next fiscal year. The Prime Minister says while he understands the need for dialogue and exploration of possibilities to ease acceptance of a deal, the process is moving slowly. As a result, Mr. Holness says his team will be increasing its communication with stakeholders to reach an agreement.
Myself and the Minister of Finance and his team, we have had discussions about how we can improve that dialogue, improve the communication, and build the trust and credibility on both sides of the conversation. And that exercise will have to be intensified. I'm giving some oversight to it, but at the same time, we will allow the process to continue.
The Prime Minister was addressing the IMF press conference last Friday. He reiterated the importance of public sector transformation to the country's economic growth and maintaining the public sector wage bill under the IMF standby agreement. Mr. Holness called on trade unions to bargain with these realities in mind during wage negotiations.
And I want to use this platform to appeal to the unions to consider the government's offer and to reassure them that the government will always maintain a respectful and collaborative stance in the negotiations.
Ground will be broken in a few weeks for the construction of a new 120-megawatt LNG power plant at the Jamaica refinery in Clarendon. Transport and Mining Minister Mike Henry made the announcement during a recent press briefing.
This will improve its efficiency, reduce operating costs, and increase its profitability, and provide 200 to 300 jobs in the installation stage, and then we lead to 1,000 more jobs in the Clarendon belt.
Minister Henry says a similar investment will be made by the Gequan Iron and Steel Company, GISCO, to construct a new 230-megawatt LNG power plant for its operations in St. Elizabeth. $500 million will be invested in that plant.
And what I'm talking about, I'm expecting to be happening in this fiscal year. And LNG is a clean fuel, and therefore should send a message to the environmentalists that we are making that an important element of the development of the industry.
Government is a step closer to constructing the long-awaited Montego Bay Bypass in St. James. The bypass is expected to provide road users a reprieve from traffic congestion in the second city. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he has viewed the finalized alignment for the roadway, which will now go before Cabinet for approval.
I saw the final alignment, which to me makes sense. It will be a 14-kilometer road. When it is finished, it will take you 8 minutes to bypass the Montego Bay city proper at 60 kilometers an hour.
Following Cabinet's approval, Mr. Holness says government will seek financing for the project. The Prime Minister was addressing the recent opening of the ATL Automotive Group's latest showroom for its Porsche brand in Montego Bay. ATL Automotive Group Chairman Adam Stewart revealed that come March 1, 2018, the group will open its new Kia facility. The definition for micro, small and medium-sized enterprises (MSMEs) has been revised. The revision forms part of the amended MSME policy Green Paper tabled in the House of Representatives last week. The new MSME policy is an improvement on the one tabled in 2013. Industry Minister Carl Samuda says following consultations, the volume of sales will now be the major determinant in the MSME classification, with employment acting only as a guide. As a result, micro-enterprises are now defined as companies with annual sales turnover of between $10 and $15 million. Small enterprises are now at annual sales turnover of $50 to $75 million, while medium-sized businesses will be defined as those having annual sales of $150 to $425 million. The updated MSME policy also includes social value creation as a new priority area. This takes into account issues impacting social enterprises, including business financing, support, and providing an enabling environment.
The Ministry will be convening one major validation or consultation workshop with a view to presenting the draft final policy to all stakeholders. and to present the final policy as a white paper before the end of the current financial year.
The first 2 codes of conduct, which are critical to advancing the rights of persons with disabilities under the Disabilities Act, are being developed. Labor and Social Security Minister Shahini Robinson says the ministry is in the process of drafting the codes, which will be finalized and ready by mid-2018.
Over time, the other 5 codes will be prepared so all areas of the Act are understood by the ordinary Jamaican anywhere. Our valued stakeholders will be engaged in reviewing these codes to ensure we understand clearly how to include persons with disabilities in education and training and the ever-important employment.
Minister Robinson says a consultant is also being engaged to develop a new organizational structure for the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, JCPD, as it takes on its new roles and functions as stated in the Disabilities Act. Minister Robinson was addressing the recent launch of a media campaign to increase public awareness on the rights of persons with disabilities and the role of the JCPD. And finally, the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, graduated its first cohort of students to be certified since the institution's formal upgrading in September. Approximately 250 students were conferred with diplomas, bachelor's and master's degrees during the graduation ceremony at the Jamaica Conference Center. Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid lauded the CMU staff and graduates on the milestone achievement.
I'm very proud today that the Caribbean Maritime University is graduating over 250 internationally high-paying, industry-ready graduates who I will expect to become leaders in the logistics and maritime landscape.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.